He's 9th in the conference at 15 a game as you get a look at the starting lineup for the Furman Paladins. They have won 4 of the last 5 matchups inside the McKenzie Arena. There's a look at Chattanooga's lineup. Dalvin White, his last 8 games, 26 assists, 6 turnovers. He leads the NCAA in assist to turnover ratio. Ball is in the air. It's tipped. Chattanooga controls, and we are underway. It's the 95th all-time meeting between the two. Mocs lead with 57 wins, including 31 and 11 all-time in this building. But mentioned a moment ago the fact that Furman has won 4 out of the last 5 inside the McKenzie Arena.
Yeah, both these clubs, Chris, anxious to get it started tonight. You can feel it in the room.
Jake Stevens has it blocked with the shot clock winding down. Loose ball picked up now by Demetrius Davis, and Chattanooga with a fresh opportunity.
Nice job by Furman to get around the screen. They recognize that Jake Stevens is a threat to shoot from that spot, and they want to take it away early, and they defended it so well. Talk about that energy. Don't forget the Hawks, the Pacers, the Pelicans. The NBA scouts are here tonight to see a couple of different guys.
Open look for Johnson from 3, and he connects. Jamal Johnson, he's hit for 10 points, at least 10 in 11 straight. And it was Johnson that got a hand on the pass and deflected it out of bounds. Furman will inbound.
Look, Johnson makes his free throws. He's in the top 50 in the nation. He shoots a lot of three-pointers. He's in the top 50 in the nation. And he sure is a lot of fun to watch out here.
So is this guy. Here's Bothwell. And Demetrius Davis draws the tough task of trying to defend him tonight for Chattanooga. Off a screen, Foster. And it's Davis that goes up high for the rebound.
Both these teams coming off the disappointing losses. They're going to want to try to attain the goals here tonight every minute.
Open look for White. And the rebound taken by Pegues. Out on the wing to Foster, called with a travel. He'll turn it over.
Foster is a deadly outside shooter, but he tries to fool everybody and take a quick step inside and drags that final foot.
Furman coming in off a loss to UNCG. They lost in overtime 88-80. Went 0 for 5 from the floor. Here's Johnson again from 3. This one rattles, tipped by Stevens. And taken off the floor by Foster into the front court with Bothwell.
And you know, Chris, Furman had a similar experience with UNCG that Chattanooga had at Sanford. Played better, down lots of stretches of the game, had the lead, just couldn't secure the win.
Chattanooga led by 19 in the second half on Saturday against Sanford, and then just went ice-cold shooting down the stretch in that game. Foul is called on Chattanooga's Jamal Johnson. That's his first. And Jalen Slauson to the free throw line. Slauson, a 79% foul shooter. One of 2 fifth-year guys on the Furman roster. Slauson, Mike Bothwell, and 2 of the best that have ever played at Furman.
Yeah, and he's another guy that NBA scouts could be looking at. People question his size. You would certainly, if it doesn't work out here in the States, he'll be on his way to Europe to play professional ball.
Davis off the screen from Jake Stevens.
Now that's what you have to do. You have to get that screen, get a good look at the basket. I don't know how much of a look you get when it's Jake Stevens, though, that's setting the screen for you.
Slauson with a nice look. He floats through the air, puts it up and in. Furman in front by 1 at 4-3. Still early, first half for the McKenzie Arena. As the errant pass from Dalvin White goes out of bounds.
It's just a misunderstanding of what you're trying to do. Somebody's supposed to fill that spot, and the point guard obviously felt like Jamal Johnson was going to rotate over and take open the empty space, and he wasn't there.
Furman at 13-6 on the year, 4-2 in the Southern Conference. They average 19 assists per game. That's 6th best in the country.
There's a travel right there that goes unnoticed.
And Jake Stevens deflects it away. Bothwell from beyond the arc. He'll shoot over Stevens and watch it rim out.
In case you're wondering, 2 SEC officials here tonight and then one other. So I would have to think that if somebody wanted to bang down low, they could get away with some contact tonight.
From the corner, it's Caldwell for 3. And A.J. Caldwell, who in his last 5 games had made 8 3-pointers with a miss. And Slauson misses from outside, but the rebound taken by Foster and a chance for Furman to set it up again.
Yeah, A.J. still trying to get back into that rhythm, just 30% from behind the 3-point arc. Only made 22 so far this year.
Stolen by Johnson.
It's early, Chris, but that is the 3rd turnover already by Furman.
Stevens against the double team, has it poked away and out of bounds. Breaking the action, we'll step aside. 15:47 remaining. First half action, Chattanooga and Furman back after this. Our score here, Furman with the early lead over Chattanooga as you get a look at the Southern Conference standings. There's Samford up top at 6-0. Bulldogs in Johnson City tonight to take on ETSU. And how about the Buccaneers, Todd? They've dropped 6 straight at home now.
Yeah, this is going to be a question now. Can they salvage the year? They weren't picked very high, but at home, that's a bit of a disappointment. I'm sure they didn't expect that. We already discussed Samford and UNCG at the top. What do they have in common? They beat the 2 teams behind them. And how about Western Carolina? Picked 8th, playing well right now and hanging in there.
A win tonight by Furman, and this one would kind of separate those top 3 from Chattanooga a little bit in the standings. 5 to shoot, Caldwell. Driving in, off the glass, A.J. Caldwell has 2. Chattanooga back in front by 1.
We don't see that move very often where he goes to the opposite hand, but he had to do it. So much length down in low, he wanted to avoid the block. Well, if there's one thing he still has, right? He goes through some shooting slumps, but his defense is always solid, and he still understands the game at a high level.
Pegues, saved from going out of bounds by Jake Stevens. Stevens from 3. Did not get the bucket, but does draw the foul. He'll go to the line with a chance to shoot.
Well, he fouled by Huey, a guy that can bang down low. They don't want him banging up high on a guy shooting 3-pointers. This is old school 3-point stuff.
Jake Stevens, 2nd in the Southern Conference in free throw shooting behind his teammate Jamal Johnson. Jake Stevens at 85% on the year, averaging 22 points per game. He's got 11 double-doubles to his credit, coming off a 19-point, 7 rebound, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals night against Samford on Saturday. Just a guy this year, Todd, that is, by virtue of all those Player of the Week honors he's racked up this year, a guy that's been filling up the stat sheet every night.
You know, one of the reasons why the scouts are here, obviously, is to see him, and I know they've talked to him every game. They try to tell him who's going to be here and just play your game, which is easier said than done to block out all that attention.
4-point Chattanooga lead. Still early in the first half. Bothwell.
Well, there's a mix-up on defense there.
And Furman not able to convert on the 3 from Marcus Foster.
Chattanooga ends up with 2 guys in the same spot and allows a pretty good look at the basket. Fortunate that Furman didn't bang that one home and get a little bit closer.
Here goes Stevens working his way down low. Missed it, but will tip it out. Corner 3 on the way. Good from Jamal Johnson.
Wonderful assist by Randy Brady to recognize the open shooter in the corner.
Foster kicks it out. It's Carter Witt, the Wake Forest transfer. Now to Huey on the feed. Intended for Ben Vanderwall. And it's out of bounds.
That's a nice cut to the basket. Just a pass a little bit too low. Furman trying to cut the floor up a little bit. I always think about the floor being 3 areas on offense. You've got the top slots, the wings, then you've got the key and the low post and the high post, and then the corners, both the short and the deep. And Furman has started this game finding areas on the floor. And they keep doing this, they're going to be successful.
Foul was called on Randy Brady. And here's Witt getting around Brady. Now to Slauson. Feet underneath. Beautiful pass by Slauson. And a foul will go on Chattanooga in the paint on Marcus Foster. I think it may go on A.J. Caldwell, and it will.
And there's a perfect example. Furman creating area. That ball, at one point, 3 different guys touch it. It's in the corner. It's out top in the slot. And then all of a sudden, it's down low in the post.
Foster, a good foul shooter on the year. He's at 85%. And a guy that has been able to become that third scoring option at Furman. There's Bothwell, there's Slauson, but Foster averaging 12 a game, put up 21 against ETSU and had 23 against VMI. He's played really well in Southern Conference play.
Now, this is a team, Coach Ritchie has done a fabulous job of getting talent there and then coaching it up.
Corsalt off the glass and in. Christian Corsalt.
And there's the play that matters. The play that makes that defense worry about what's inside rather than what's going to come from the outside.
Open look for Witt. Rims out. And Jake Stevens again with a rebound, and he throws it away.
Just trying to move the ball a little too quickly in transition. And that's what you do when you're a three-point team and, you know, you're looking to find success in transition. As we watch that layup again by the guard, you try to move it out quickly in transition. And if nothing develops, then you wait for the rest of the shooters to get down the length of the floor and find another spot.
Open look for Williams from 3. The follow and the bucket by Ben Vanderwall, the freshman. Freshman out of Elmhurst, Illinois. Was an all-state selection in high school.
Yeah, and a guy who's not playing like a freshman. They really like him over in Greenville.
And loose ball after a steal attempt. And we've got a foul on Randy Brady. That'll be his second.
Yeah, Alex Williams puts Brady in jeopardy by tipping the ball away and then forces, you'll see it right here, Brady just trying to fight him off to get possession of the ball and gets whistled for it.
Brady out with 2 fouls. Jamal Walker checks in for Chattanooga. A.J. Caldwell out, and Dalvin White back in for the Mocs.
Alex Williams could be a bit of a question mark here tonight, Chris. He was suspended for 6 games, team violation. He's a high-low guy offensively. I wonder how much tape they have of him and what he has shown them on tape.
Well, he is a guy that played and contributed a lot for Furman a season ago. The difference in Alex Williams today from the Alex Williams we saw last year is he's gone from about 260 pounds down to about 235 pounds.
Yeah, he's taken to the weight room, and it's been kind to him. I get to the weight room, and it's the vending machine that always gets me in trouble.
And there's the feed to Slauson, and he'll throw it down. A 3-point game. Chattanooga in front. We've got 12 minutes to go in this first half. Corsalt, short. And taken out of the air by Vanderwall. Here's Witt all the way down. Carter Witt going coast to coast. The miss, but the follow. And the putback by Slauson. And we've got a 1-point game now.
Nice to see Jamal Walker up and okay. That was a stunning fall from a pretty high distance.
6-0 run for Furman.
There's a holding right there that goes unnoticed.
Hankton kicks it out on a wing. Johnson from 3. He's been good from there. Hankton with a rebound. Corsalt into traffic. Draws the foul. Breaking the action. We'll step aside. Got a 1-point game here between Furman and Chattanooga. 11:25 to go. first half action. 6-0 run for Furman, and UTC's now gone a little over 2 minutes since their last basket.
Yeah, this has not been the start that either one of these squads had hoped to get shooting, Chris. Furman 30%, Chattanooga 33%. And Furman defensively so far, really good job of keeping the ball out of the middle. That is emphasis number one in their defense tonight. Don't allow those points in the paint.
Witt to Pegues. Pegues will back it out. 10 on the shot clock. Pegues straight on three. And Dalvin White in position to rebound it for Chattanooga. And White nearly lost his handle on it. Mentioned the numbers for Dalvin White and just how good he has been for Chattanooga. Walker blocked from behind by Witt. And that is personal foul number 2 on Carter Witt.
Well, I thought Davis was going to stuff that. And you watch right here, one pass, shot taken away, finds Walker. And the freshman from behind who's out of position just doesn't get back into the play well.
Jamal Walker at the free throw line sees his first rim out. Walker, a 58% foul shooter. He has been deadly this year for Chattanooga from three. He's hit 11 out of 18 from deep, but shooting 58% from the free throw line. Chattanooga as a team is at 73%.
Chris Paladin's going to have to take Witt out with 2 personal fouls. That's tough. You're just a little under 11 minutes to go here in the first half, and to lose a kid like that is tough to replace. This is not a deep bench. High minutes for their starters, and he's one of them.
Bothwell over Caldwell. Count the basket, the foul called on A.J. Caldwell, and a chance for Bothwell to go to the line. And Furman takes the 1-point lead now at 14-13. Bothwell, an 82% foul shooter. Todd, you talked about the minutes. Bothwell, number 3 in the Southern Conference in minutes played.
Yeah, they don't substitute a lot. This is a team that survives on the 5 that they start. They're trying to get a little bit deeper. And also to Coach Ritchie's credit, I mean, you just got 5 really good starters out there, and got a guy like Bothwell who can take over a game. And, and he can do it at any moment. You hate to have him out of there.
Chattanooga's now gone over 3 minutes without a bucket. Penetrating in is Walker, and he'll draw the foul underneath. It's a 9-0 run for Furman. Sorry, Tom.
That's all right. One of the rare times tonight that one of the dribblers for Chattanooga has had access into the paint without drawing a double team.
Walker back at the free throw line, had just 1 point against Samford on Saturday in Chattanooga's loss.
Well, he has the most unusual free throw shot that I've seen on Chattanooga's team in recent history. He's got the same kind of shot from behind the three-point line, but as I've been told, if a golfer that's got a goofy swing wants to play you for money, don't do it, because he's figured it out. And I would say the same thing for Walker. If he challenges you to shoot for money, don't do it. He's figured out how to make this shot work.
He's now 1 of 4 today from the foul line, and it's a 1-point game, just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
Furman does such a good job of just testing to see what's available.
Slauson will kick it out to Bothwell. Back over to Pegues, the jumper. And rebound into the corner, saved by Foster. And a chance for Furman again to connect, and they do. Slauson. Slauson has turned himself into a 40% shooter from three-point range. That's exactly where Bob Ritchie said back in the summer he wanted to see Slauson. Here's Jake Stevens at the rim for Chattanooga. And UTC finally able to snap a little bit of a streak here after struggling from the floor.
And this is where their defense can turn around their offense. Look, if you're a three-point team and you're not scoring from beyond the arc and you're not getting out in transition and scoring points, then it's paramount that you be successful defensively until your offense is revived.
Stevens thought about the three. He'll give it up for Davis. And here's Davis. Davis to the rim, off the backboard and in. We're tied at 18. Under 9 minutes remaining, first half.
I think Davis saw that the floor laid out pretty open, and there was going to be no help down low if he decided to dribble drive, and sure enough, nobody could help out.
J.P. Pegues called with a foul for Furman, and the Paladins will turn it over. First foul on Pegues.
Kind of wonder what the anxiety level is for both these clubs tonight. We've already talked about the tough loss that each is coming off of. And this game clearly matters.
Brady, the Chattanooga native, lost it out of bounds. Give it back to Furman.
You always want to exploit the ball handlers that are still learning. And that would be one right there on your screen, number 34. Not their strongest ball handler. Make it tough on them, right? That dribble's a little too high. A lot of room for a mistake there. And you got to live with that with some of the younger guys.
Pegues has 10 to shoot and has it stripped away, gets it back, finds an opening, puts up the shot, gets the basket and the foul.
He goes from zero to a hero very quickly on that play, doesn't he? Watch this right here.
Nearly had it taken away by Dalvin White, gets it back. We'll go banging underneath, and a foul on Chattanooga's Sam Alexis.
Boy, he bodies up against Sam Alexis. That's not easy to do.
Pegues, 65% this year from the foul line, had 13 points in the loss to UNCG by Furman. Here's Walker all the way down with the left hand, can't get it to go in, and Jamal Walker picks up the foul.
Walker is so athletic. I think everybody's just waiting for him to break out and be the star that some think that he can be.
Ben Vanderwall called with a foul. We'll return to the McKenzie Arena after this. Furman leads Chattanooga by 2. Season, he's 124-53. He's been at Furman since 2011, spent 6 years as an assistant coach at Furman before taking over as the head man. And Todd, I talked to him back in the preseason and asked him about that loss to Chattanooga last year in the Southern Conference Tournament Finals, and he said we had a team meeting the next day, and he said it was about taking that pain and putting purpose to it.
You know, we've talked about this before, Chris. That game was won by a player, not a play. And there's just some things you don't control. I thought Furman handled that inbounds pass well. The shooter was guarded. He throws it up, and David Jean-Baptiste, and it goes in. And you have to take those lessons, and you're going to get the good and the bad in this game.
Yeah, Bob Ritchie said it may not be the jet that gets us where we want to go, but it can be the fuel for that jet.
You know what he does such a good job of, Chris, is even when he was at Charleston Southern, he has a knack for offensive talent.
Nice move by Vanderwall to the rim, but couldn't get it to go down.
And that's why I think this program will always be in good hands. The other thing is, and I don't want to make too much of a comparison with VMI, but sometimes you got to start to understand the school you're at. And with his longevity there at Furman, he understands the expectations at the university that are academic and that are athletic as well.
Chattanooga now 2 of 10 shooting from three. Mocs have hit just 1 of their last 8 from deep. And this is a team that, look, they are 7-0 on the year when they shoot better than 40% from three. And again, they've hit 2 of 10 to start things.
And really, you know, Chris, they haven't had the interior play that they normally have when that's absent, or the interior play to open up the outside play. Furman has really guarded on the ball so well.
5 to shoot for Walker, off balance, short, tipped out. He gets his own rebound. Here's Johnson from 3, and it's short. And we've got a foul called underneath. This will go against Chattanooga. Foul is on Sam Alexis, and that will be his second personal foul.
Feels like this game is stalled. Watch right here. Nice tip back out. Pretty good idea to get it to a strong three-point shooter. And somewhere in the process of getting that rebound, Sam Alexis was a little too physical underneath.
Sends Mike Bothwell to the free throw line. Bothwell, 1,700 career points. He's in 10th place all time. Bothwell and Slauson, both fifth-year guys. They have now won 101 games in a Furman uniform. That's the second most in school history, behind the guy that was really a catalyst for this team a season ago that graduated, in Alex Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, they just, as we said earlier, they just keep replacing scorers and impact players.
Bothwell connects from the foul line. He's got 5. And the Furman lead is 2 with 7 minutes left in the first half.
You know, they live up to that mantra of who's next. And they always seem to have a guy that's next.
Stevens' pass tipped away. Foster into the front court. Here's Witt. Open look from 3 from the corner, and it drops in. Mike Bothwell, a 33% three-point shooter. Give him 8. And Furman makes it a 5-point game.
Yeah, points off turnovers. We'll be looking at that number at the end of the night as well. We'll clear out on the far side here.
Davis, 10 to shoot. The long three's good by Demetrius Davis. Davis with 5 after being held scoreless in Chattanooga's loss on Saturday to Samford.
That is a tough two-man game when Chattanooga decides to isolate that side of the floor and go with Davis and Stevens. I think it also works with Stevens and Jamal Johnson, too. A couple of interchangeable parts there.
Davis called with a foul. That is his first. And that'll send Alex Williams to the foul line.
Still a difficult night shooting. Furman just at 40%, a little bit better than what they were at, obviously, and they were at 33% not too long ago, and Chattanooga not at 40% yet.
Furman now 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Make it 7 of 10. And the Paladins in front by 4, 27-23. Stevens had it tapped away by Slauson. They'll say it was last touch by Chattanooga. And Furman will inbound, take it the distance. Chattanooga continues just to struggle a little bit offensively. Mocs have turned it over now 6 times, and we've still got just less than 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, not the start I don't think that Dan Earl wanted after what he had to sit through at Samford. He talked about being one play away, right? One play away at Samford, and still looking for that one play. Seemed like they've missed a couple of opportunities tonight. One of the things for sure he will not enjoy is they've been defending with fouls.
Slauson shot too hard. And Stevens has it off the backboard. Here's Corsalt into the front court. The flip to Stevens. Davis. In the corner, Corsalt, 10 to shoot for Chattanooga. Off the screen, here's Corsalt, looks for an opening, fires, and it's short. Jumper from Foster's good. Marcus Foster connects from 3, and the lead goes to 7.
I always said he was a deadly shooter, and he is really the green light for this team from behind that three-point line.
Davis will try to answer. Off the back of the rim, the tip in. Jake Stevens tips it in. Stevens has 5, and Chattanooga makes it a 5-point game. Slauson will pass up the 3 over to Witt. And now here's Witt. He'll find his shot. And the rebound tipped out to Pegues. Foster. And a long rebound tipped out, taken by Witt, and another opportunity. Third look here on this trip down the floor for Furman. Penetrating underneath, cut off by Stevens. Here comes Witt. The kick to the corner. Takes his time. Foster releases. 6 on the shot clock, and he drains it. Lead goes back to 8. And 8 points for Marcus Foster. He knocks down the 3. 33-25. 3:52 remaining. Furman leading Chattanooga. Earl in that huddle for Chattanooga in his first year leading the Mocs. No stranger, though, to the Southern Conference. Spent several years at VMI, went 84 and 147 overall his 8th year as a head coach. He is 3-11 all time against Furman.
He is, you and I have talked to him on multiple occasions. He's really enjoying the new job here at Chattanooga. And part of that enjoyment is fueled by the fact that Jake Stevens said he'd come here.
Tonight's game is a matchup of the top 2 scorers in the conference, and Jake Stevens and Mike Bothwell from Furman. Bothwell with 8 points currently. Jake Stevens has 7. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Furman.
Oh boy, a warning on the Furman bench and the coaching staff there. Now, you alluded to the fact we got the top 2 scorers, we got the top 2 scoring teams, and they both seem to be stuck in neutral right now.
10 on the shot clock for Jamal Walker. Walker looks for an opening, works his way to the rim, and lays it up and in.
Somehow he has become the most entertaining player in this game.
And Furman's pass deflected. Last touch by Chattanooga.
Boy, that one didn't need to be deflected. It was headed for the upper deck. But that's hard to tell a defender. Boy, the inbounds pass. How they got to Slauson, I'll never know. He stepped out of a double team. Shows off his football work.
Gets his own rebound. Works to kick it out. Open look now for Pegues. And J.P. Pegues, the Tennessee native. He's from Nashville. He's got 5.
You know, they felt like he needs to get some more confidence in his game, and I'd say so far tonight he's playing with some confidence.
Walker out to Stevens. Furman with a 9-point lead. Shot clock winding down. Here's Davis. Stevens with the left hand. Jake Stevens. Jake Stevens with 9. Chattanooga pulls back to within 7. Under 2.5 to go, first half. To the rim, taking his time is Marcus Foster. Foster in double figures, he's got 10. That leads all scorers. Opposite end now, Chattanooga misses the layup. And a foul called underneath. Foul on Jalen Slauson. That's his second personal foul. 7th team foul on Furman. And Jake Stevens goes to the free throw line.
Now, Furman with 2 players with 2 personal fouls. Chattanooga with 3. Caldwell being one of them, one of the starters. He's been absent. He's only played 8 minutes so far. He's going to come back in. You'll see him enter the game here pretty soon. There's Slauson on the bench. He's ready to break snap that streak of losses from last year.
And Jake Stevens in double figures with 10 points. And Furman not able to save it from going out of bounds. 10 points and 6 rebounds for Jake Stevens. Long inbounds pass goes out to Caldwell, and here's Stevens again. Working against Tyrese Huey. Open look, Caldwell from 3, got it. Caldwell playing with 2 fouls that he picked up early. Furman left him alone in the corner. And the Paladins lead down to 5 with under 2 minutes to go.
And Chattanooga needed that. They are still about 1 3-pointer off of what they should be. Most of your 3-point shooting teams should at least be making 1 out of every 3. It's been a bit of a struggle tonight. It's one of the first really wide open looks we've seen from a 3-point shooter for the Mocs.
Chattanooga just 4 of 15 shooting from 3. Johnson. Jamal Johnson with 8, and it's a 3-point game with 1:23 left.
I really like his wing play.
6-0 run for Chattanooga in the last minute. They've hit 4 out of their last 5. Straight on 3. High rebound on the floor, scooped up by Caldwell. Walker. And Walker will turn it over.
Just trying to do too much there.
Turnover number 7 for Chattanooga.
Well, you look at his minutes tonight, Chris, and already at 12 minutes here in this first half.
Walker averaging 5 points a game. He's a Chattanooga native, prepped locally at East Hamilton High School. Worked his way into a role on this team now as a redshirt sophomore. Was on his way to some playing time a season ago, and then he got hurt and missed a good portion of last year. Here's Bothwell. Shot clock at 10. Bothwell explodes past Stevens and puts it up and in. Mike Bothwell with 12. Check that, give him 10.
Yeah, and his teammates knew not to crowd the floor, make sure they left him enough room to operate. And then they finally got it open enough where he could be isolated.
Dalvin White. And the rebound taken by Davis. Johnson's 3. Short. Stevens the follow. And that's the way the first half will come to a close. Jake Stevens with the putback to make it a 3-point game. Furman leading Chattanooga 40-37. Get a final look at it. Teams Furman picked to finish first in the conference in the preseason by both the media and the coaches. And the Paladins 12-1 this year when leading at the half. Lob underneath, deflected away, and Dalvin White has it for Chattanooga.
Just too much defense right there. Not enough separation between the offensive player and the defensive guys.
Stevens found an opening and went in for the shot, and then it closed on him quickly, and he commits the travel and the turnover. And turnover number 8 for UTC. And for Jake Stevens, that's his 3rd turnover in this game.
He's had some games like that, Chris, where he's been prone to making the The turnover, either getting the ball swiped away or turning it over that way. But again, so much focus on him defensively.
And a foul called underneath. It will go on Chattanooga. And you saw Mike Bothwell, how hard he had to work to get the shot up around Jake Stevens.
Right there, clear out. Davis just locked up with his man. A little too aggressive underneath.
Here's the lob. Slauson lost it on his way up, loose on the floor. And a good job by Slauson to kick it out. Bothwell, the floater, off the glass and in.
We said he had the ability to take over a game. The question is that what he is doing right here?
Demetrius Davis draws the contact. Foul will go on Furman. It's on Garrett Heen. That's the first. And Demetrius Davis will go to the free throw line. Davis, his first trip to the line today for Chattanooga, 60% on the year. And again, the free throw woes continue. Chattanooga now 7 out of 12 at the foul line.
If you're not making your threes and you're not hitting your frees, it's you got a lot of work to do defensively.
UTC 8 out of 13 from the line, 4 of 17 from deep. Slauson works against Stevens, has it tapped away.
Chris, defensively for Furman in this half, they have struggled this year to bear down defensively through 2 full halves. They'll be working on that. And for Chattanooga on offense, they might have to start looking at setting some more screens to get some shooters open.
Slauson drives and finishes with authority. He got around Jake Stevens and threw it down.
He does that all the time. He shows you something. Little pump fake, little shot fake, and then just takes off.
6-point lead for Furman. And a foul on Furman's Marcus Foster. Foul on Furman's number 5, Marcus Foster. Get a look at him. Watch him get around Jake Stevens here, and then puts it down with one hand.
All he needed was that hesitation. It freezes Jake Stevens, and it goes right by him.
Nice move by Dalvin White. First basket for Dalvin White. 44-40. Furman on top. Here's Foster. And he'll have to kick it back out to Bothwell. 10 on the shot clock for Mike Bothwell. Foster drives against Caldwell. And a foul will go on Furman. Garrett Heen picks up his, is that his second personal foul? It is, number 2 on Heen.
He's had a very quiet night so far. One of those players, we talked about Furman not having a deep bench. He is one of the players that does get off the bench. No points, no rebounds, no assists, just the 2 fouls.
And Slauson able to tip the pass, but Stevens comes away with the basketball and the foul. This will go on Alex Williams. That's the first on Williams.
Chattanooga still trying to get that entry ball. And every time Jake Stevens is a threat to get it, Furman finds a way to rotate a guy down to help out. And one of the things they've done such a good job of tonight is when they rotate down to help, they get back in a hurry. They can't do it here.
Stevens backs his way down, turns around. Jake Stevens has 14, and it's a 2-point game.
So Jamal Johnson makes that happen. He backs out far enough behind that 3-point line that nobody can come down to help.
Foster with the drive, and the blocking foul called on Jake Stevens. That's number 2 on Stevens.
What gets Stevens here, he's not the initial defender. He slides over to help out. And officials look for that. That's right here. I think that's what got him in trouble. I still think it's a questionable call.
That wasn't Foster, it was Slauson. And Jalen Slauson to the free throw line. And Furman has hit 10 of 11. Slauson now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Furman as a team, 75% coming in it today. Slauson hits both. He's now 4 of 4, and the lead goes back to 4. Jalen Slauson with 13 for Furman. Caldwell kicks it out to the corner. White lost his footing. Johnson intended for Stevens, taken away by Furman. Pegues all the way down. Pegues with the layup. 7 points for J.P. Pegues. And just like that, Furman makes it a 6-point game. They have led by as many as 9 back in the first half. Davis, baseline. Nice job by Demetrius Davis, the junior, and a transfer from Lawson State Community College. Didn't score Saturday against Samford. He's got 8 here against Furman. Pegues again. Back-to-back buckets for J.P. Pegues. Pegues with 9. Furman keeps the margin at 6.
Pegues, normally a guy known for his facilitation of the basketball. He's only got 1 assist, but you mentioned the 9 points.
Yeah, Pegues charged with, as you get a look at the replay here, there's the bump on Jake Stevens. But Pegues charged with really a tough task this year in replacing a guy in Alex Hunter, who's now playing professionally overseas. But Hunter did such a good job manning that point guard position. Bob Ritchie said he said, I hadn't tried to break in a new point guard in 4 years.
Not a spot you like to break in, guys. Here's what I like about Davis on that play. He comes across that screen so tight, and the defender can't go under, because if he does, it opens up a 3. He's got to chase and just run into the body.
It's the second foul on Alex Williams. Brady kicks it out. Davis. 7 to shoot for Chattanooga. White pulls up from 3. Got it. Dalvin White. And Chattanooga closes to within a bucket. Slauson's 3, not there. Dalvin White has 5, and here he comes with the ball. Chattanooga down by 3. White, the feed. Stevens, it's a 1-point game.
Furman didn't keep up in transition, and they certainly couldn't identify the ball handler and where they were supposed to be.
Straight on 3. Well, you can't leave Mike Bothwell that open.
And that's what happens when the ball doesn't touch the floor on a dribble. You move it, you reverse it, and eventually you get a really good look by a good shooter.
Slauson with the turnover, takes it away from Stevens. There's the feed, Alex Williams. Williams is trimmed down from 260 to 235 and able to glide through the air. A.J. Caldwell underneath, lost it out of bounds. Chattanooga will retain possession. 14:40 remaining in the game. Furman with the 6-point lead over Chattanooga. Back to the McKenzie Arena in just a moment. And Furman, that 5-0 run all came in the span of less than a minute.
Now we saw some transition points. Both these teams decided to change the tempo a little bit. And those points in the paint starting to rack up. Furman now with 26, Furman with 24. And both teams did such a good job of defending the paint in the first half. It's a little bit different now that the shooting's gotten better here from the outside in the second half.
20 on the shot clock. Chattanooga will inbound. Caldwell, Randy Brady, and Brady gets the foul on the way up. Ben Vanderwall called with a foul. Chattanooga led by as many as 7 in the first half. Furman led by as many as 9 in the first half. It was a 3-point game at the break. And here we sit now with 14 and a half or so to play. Furman in front by 6. And Randy Brady at the free throw line. And boy, it's been a tough go for Chattanooga. Mocs are now 8 of 14 from the free throw line.
It's the difference in the game so far.
Brady connects on his second. Lead goes to 5. That's the first points of the game for the Chattanooga native in Randy Brady. Pegues into traffic. Now looks to get rid of it and does. Open look for Pegues. And the rebound taken by Furman. Whitt goes behind the back against Caldwell. Slauson working his way around Jake Stevens. And Jalen Slauson now has 15. He's hit his average, and we've still got nearly 14 minutes to go in this game. Furman back in front by 7.
And Chris, Dan Earl calls that last play by Slauson. He tells his player, that's a Barkley into the post.
Yeah.
And we alluded to the fact that this game was officiated by 2 guys tonight from the SEC.
Nice answer by Dalvin White.
And those 2 officials, the reason why we brought it up, would probably allow some contact. Used to be, many people still think this league is a guard league. And sometimes it's officiated this way. And you get guys in here like this that kind of are a little bit more familiar with the big post play, and they'll let that stuff go.
Jalen Slauson checks out for Furman. He takes a seat with 15 points. Garrett Heen in place of Slauson. Both teams will make some substituting. Jake Stevens will come out. Sam Alexis in place of Stevens. And the inbounds pass away to Carter Whitt. Foster from 3. Short. They save it from going out of bounds. They can. Foster this time from underneath. He'll kick it out to Bothwell. Bothwell works against Alexis. Banging underneath. Let's see where they call the foul. This will go on Chattanooga. Sam Alexis will be whistled with a foul. That is his 3rd.
The creators are always the hardest guys to stop, and that's Mike Bothwell. You take away one thing, they move to the next level. You take that away, they just continue until they find a shot.
Bothwell with 15, 8 times this year. He's gone over 20 points. Give him 16. And the lead for Furman will stay at 5. Chattanooga will have possession of the ball as A.J. Caldwell mixing it up in that corner with Ben Vanderwall.
You had mentioned Vanderbilt just playing so well as a freshman. And they're going to love that effort for another 3 or 4 years, however long they get to keep him around. Chattanooga doing a better job of carving up the floor right here. They really don't have an isolation guy, though, except for Walker, and I guess Dalvin White could do it, too.
Here's Brady getting underneath, tried to make the feed to Walker. Loose basketball, tipped it out of bounds. Last touch by Chattanooga. They'll call the shot clock violation on the Mocs, and UTC will turn it over.
All right, Chattanooga just didn't create a lot of area down low, and you try to throw a pass down there. That's what happens when you haven't created area. You've got bad passes.
11th turnover so far for Chattanooga. Furman has given it up just 7 times. And Heen will throw it away.
Checking in for the Mocs, number 33, Jake
Well, after a quick rest, Jake Stevens is out. Sam Alexis goes out. Alexis leaves with 3 fouls. Jake Stevens with 16 points and a foul. Walker got his man up in the air, couldn't get the shot off. Here's Caldwell, and off the mark to the right, taken by Mike Bothwell.
Yeah, Caldwell, that ball just slides out of his hands. He didn't catch it really well. That wasn't a clean catch. Kind of took him out of his rhythm.
Bothwell rejected by Stevens. And Stevens has it poked away from behind. Furman basketball. 5-point lead for the Paladins, 58-53, 11 and a half to go. Second half for the McKenzie Arena. Chattanooga's gone scoreless over the last 2 minutes. And we've talked about the scoreless streaks tonight for UTC, Todd. They've kind of come in 2-minute bunches, if you will, but Furman really hasn't been able to catch fire and kind of put it together to pull away in this game, despite Chattanooga's offensive woes. Mocs are just 9 out of 15 from the free throw line and just 6 of 20 from 3.
Yeah, haven't been wowed yet by anybody offensively, with the exception of Slauson, who has, in a lot of ways, proven to be an athletically tough challenge.
There he is again. Slauson with a miss this time against Jake Stevens.
Chattanooga going to try a different guard here in Robinson over Dalvin White. I saw Dalvin at the break. He was off the corner of the bench. I don't know if he just needs some time to catch his wind or if he tweaked something.
Brody Robinson, a freshman, did not play against Samford. Slauson thought about the 3. He'll give it back up. It's Pegues now.
Robinson's going to be mismatched, but his energy might bring a lot.
Pegues with a miss, taken underneath by Jamal Johnson. Robinson has had stretches this year where he's seen a lot of time on the floor. Dalvin White missed some time early this year with an injury. And Brody Robinson played a lot of minutes for Chattanooga during that stretch. Jake Stevens, 7 to shoot, the turnaround.
Got to kind of wonder, Brody Robinson is going to be a threat to score.
Robinson averaging 4 points, shooting 42%. Here's Slauson from 3, rattles out. And Davis went to the floor hard for Chattanooga.
And that's how it's going to be tonight. You know,
That was Jamal Johnson.
We saw it happen in the first half. We'll see it here in the second half. Furman trying to protect that lead.
Marcus Foster called with a foul. That is his second.
Boy, he is a solid-looking player. You see him right there trailing behind the official. 6'4", 200 pounds. Looks like he's been successful in the weight room.
Jamal Johnson, second in the Southern Conference at 88% from the free throw line today. His first trip to the line for the Mocs, and he converts. Johnson now with 9.
In the game for the Paladins, number 24, Alex Williams.
This is an area on the floor where Chattanooga just has to improve. There's no excuses.
Jamal Johnson into double figures. He's got 10. This is the 12th straight game with 10 points. Well, we've talked about Chattanooga struggling some offensively. Furman has now gone over 3 minutes without a bucket.
Yeah, again, just a lot of credit to the defense. Taking away stuff like that. You know, you're trying to get entry, and you just can't get it. Of course, the cold shooting has kind of hindered both these clubs as well.
Slauson, and a foul will go on Chattanooga.
Yeah, Slauson realized he had a great opportunity against Brody Robinson. Pushed him around a little bit. Brody couldn't do much, but he did his best. That's really not a bad foul by Brody Robinson.
Well, there's about 9 inches and 65 pounds
Yeah, for sure.
between those, separating those two guys. Slauson at 6'7", 215. He'll go to the free throw line.
And think about a fifth-year guy on a freshman.
Slauson, the Southern Conference's Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's in some pretty elite company in Furman history. He's one of only 3 players with 1,000 points, 600 rebounds, 200 assists, and 100 block shots. He is no stranger to good basketball. His father, Tom, was a Hall of Fame basketball player for the Citadel. And he missed both free throws. Chattanooga here with a three-pointer could tie it.
And that's why that was a good foul, right?
Johnson's three, no. Stevens rebounds. How about Brody Robinson, the freshman? Tie game.
Oh, you gotta love it. The freshman steps up and delivers, takes a hard foul at one end, and then smokes a three at the other.
5-0 run for Chattanooga. Still plenty of time left in this game. Marcus Foster rimmed out, rebound, tipped out. Robinson, heads up play, and a foul will be called on Furman.
We said that Brody Robinson would ignite the crowd, and he sure has. Look at that right there. Getting some love by his teammates.
That's the big three to tie it. Now he gets a chance to go to the free throw line, put Chattanooga back in front. Mocs led by as many as 7 in the first half. We've had 3 lead changes in this game. UTC has led just 6 minutes and 47 seconds of this contest.
Chris, if this keeps up, Brody Robinson's going to earn the right to sit on the bench and say, anytime you want to take the lead, coach, I'm here. A little delay in the game. It is hot in the gym tonight, and every time a player goes down, there's quite a splash. And when 3 go down, it looks like a hot tub down there.
Well, they'll clean it up on that end of the floor. It's a lot of work.
Who says that 12-year-olds don't work anymore, right?
Brody Robinson to the line, a 71% foul shooter.
Boy, he is such a kid out there right now. You look at the rosters of players that are out there, and he's playing amongst the best in the league right now.
His 2 free throws put Chattanooga in front, 60-58. And he's ignited this Chattanooga crowd.
How about a pair of freshmen out there for Chattanooga, too? You got Randy Brady out there as well.
Wow. And a foul on Furman.
Illegal screen.
Jalen Slauson called with a foul, and that's 4 on Slauson.
They knew what they were doing here. They were going to try to take advantage of Robinson, going to run him off of a screen, and Slauson, boy, that's a Jack Tatum hit over the middle, isn't it? I think Slauson really didn't intend to do that.
Slauson will check out with 4 fouls. Jake Stevens against the double team. Too much. And the rebound by Alex Williams. Chattanooga on a 7-0 run. Here's Williams to snap the streak. Rebound tipped around. Brady has it for Chattanooga. Furman is now scoreless for the last 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Johnson will throw it away. Brody Robinson went one way, the ball went the other.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell where that one's supposed to go.
Chattanooga will make a substitution as Randy Brady is out. And Demetrius Davis back in for Chattanooga. Here comes Sam Alexis to give Jake Stevens a little bit of a break.
Boy, this is a very athletic and youthful looking group right now for Chattanooga. Still a couple of freshmen out there. You got some high flyers.
Here's Heen, beautiful pass inside and a foul on Chattanooga. Heen put it right on the money for Bothwell. Chattanooga with the foul, and that's the first on Jamal Walker. Mocs in front by 2, 60-58. Under 8 minutes to go for the McKinney. When they rebound, that equals success. They are 10-1 this season when they have out-rebounded their opponents. Chattanooga right now +4 in rebounding.
Yeah, and Furman came into this game bound and determined to focus on their defensive rebounding, and they trail on that category by 5. The area that they're doing well in right now, Chris, which I think is going to be a number that we might be paying attention to at the end, is they have been able to convert. They've almost doubled up Chattanooga on the turnover points because they have turned the Mocs over 13 times in this game.
And they've also hit free throws. They're 13 out of 17. Bothwell hits 2 more. And Bothwell is now 6 of 7 from the line. We're tied at 60 with inside 8 minutes to go in the second half. Brody Robinson in at point guard for Chattanooga. And Jamal Walker lost the ball. Robinson there to save it. Davis had it knocked free, loose on the floor. Davis has it, 4 to shoot. Davis goes behind the back to the rim, up the follow, no. Rebounded and cleared out underneath by Garrett Heen. Here's Bothwell working on Davis. Pegues fighting against Robinson, and the rebound tipped out. Alex Williams, we got a push underneath. This will go on Furman. Foul on Garrett Heen. That is his 3rd personal. And that is team foul number 10 against Furman. So Chattanooga with a chance to shoot some free throws down the stretch here. It has not been good for the Mocs. They've missed 6. 13 out of 19 as Sam Alexis goes to the line. First trip to the line for Alexis, a 55% foul shooter on the year.
Tough way to trail in a game, even though they're tied right now.
And number 11, Carter Witt.
That's a tough number to look back on at the end of the game if you haven't come out on top. Even if you come out on top, you look at that number with a whole lot of concern.
Sam Alexis, 1 of 2 from the line. First points now for Alexis. And Chattanooga jumps ahead by 1 point.
There you see Alexis making his way down the bench. He's given Jake Stevens a couple of minutes of breathing time. Again, how about Jamal Walker? We see him out there chasing. He's right here. Now he's got to defend on this play, but athletically, he's been able to keep up tonight. That's almost a travel. Oh, and how about Slauson back out there playing with foul trouble?
And Bothwell off the screen, set by Slauson. 1 point lead for Chattanooga and a chance to add to it. Ten to shoot for the Mocs.
Furman just bearing down on the defense here, not giving anybody a good look.
2 on the shot clock, 1. Stevens has it blocked, shot clock violation. Chattanooga will turn it over for the 14th time in this game.
That is a tough spot for Jake Stevens to be in with the ball. If there's no communication, he's down on the baseline. Look at this, he can't see the clock. Really doesn't have any idea. This is really just kind of he's got an idea, but not much of where the clock is. Another good defensive stand. We talked at the start of the broadcast about connecting your defensive effort, making sure you protect the middle you stay on your guy, you get help. If you can combine all those things, you'll be all right.
Garrett Witt with the basket. And the foul. Opportunity at the three-point play for Witt. Witt in some pretty elite company. He's only the second transfer that Bob Ritchie has taken since he's been the head coach at Furman. Witt came over from Wake Forest, played 50 games in 2 years at Wake. Paladins back in front by a point.
Too many guys on that side of the floor for Chattanooga.
Robinson's three. Banks it in.
Got a little crowded over there in the corner, so he comes out where he can get some room and get a good look at the basket.
8 points for Brody Robinson. 2 big threes, including that one. Chattanooga in front by 2. Witt kicks it back out. Slauson will drive. Slauson to the rim. Rolls off the back. Robinson down the floor, blocked. And Furman saves it from going out of bounds. Here's Foster, the feed. Slauson with a slam. 17 points now for Jalen Slauson. He's playing with 4 fouls, and we're tied at 64.
That is another basket off of the turnover. About the only mistake Robinson has made tonight. He pushed that ball in transition, got into trouble, probably feeding off the crowd, and he just makes a young, youthful mistake.
64-63, breaking the action. Let's step aside. 4.5 to go. Tie game at 64. Bothwell leads all scorers. He's got 18. Jalen Slauson with 17, couple of dunks. And Marcus Foster has 10 for the Paladins. Chattanooga to inbound. Dalvin White back in, replacing the freshman Brody Robinson. Here's Jake Stevens picking up a foul underneath. Brody Robinson came in for Chattanooga, the freshman from Houston, Texas, provided the spark off the bench. He hit 2 big threes for the Mocs. And he will take a seat. And Dalvin White, Chattanooga's starter, who leads the nation in assist to turnover ratio, is back out there.
Not a bad night when you can go to your bench, dip into your freshman. He makes all of his free throws. It's 2 of 3 shooting, grabs 2 rebounds. Does that in 7 minutes. You and I have talked about efficiency before. That's not bad.
Garrett Heen picks up his 4th personal foul. Jake Stevens at the line. He hits both. Chattanooga in front by a pair.
It's been a rare sight to see Chattanooga make a pair of free throws. Good timing.
Oh, Bothwell found a lane and drove right to the rim. He's got 20. That is the 9th time this year that Mike Bothwell has gone for at least 20 in a game. Shot clock at 10 as Caldwell tries to make the lob inside, and Chattanooga will turn it over. For the Mocs, that is turnover number 15 and personal foul number 3 on Jamal Johnson.
And certainly, as you and I talked about earlier, you can see why. They just keep recruiting good talent, and they played the game so well. And you got 2 guys out there, Bothwell and Slauson, that are next level players. Furman scores here on this possession, Chris. It's going to be points after a turnover. They would continue to add to that big number.
Slauson works against Jake Stevens, has his shot altered. And Jamal Walker clears it away for Chattanooga. UTC has hit just 1 of their last 5 shots.
Yeah, they've had, since we got to 5 minutes, they've had a blocked shot. They've made a pair of free throws, and they've turned it over.
And nearly a turnover there. Stevens able to regain control. And they'll look for Dalvin White to work a little magic. Shot clock winding down. White goes high off the glass. Slauson rebounds.
You know, Chattanooga 13 points off their average so far per game. Furman 16 points off their average. Unless if we don't get to overtime, these two high-scoring teams aren't going to get to their normal numbers.
Here's Bothwell. 10 on the shot clock. Kicks it out. Pegues. Corner. Open look for three. Got it. Carter Witt knocks it down from deep. And Furman goes in front by 3.
Furman shows us again how good they are at moving the ball without dribbling, and it opens up a three-point shooter.
Witt nearly with a steal. Here's White. Missed. Rebound. Tipped by Slauson. And Furman will come away with it. They lead by 3. We approach the 2-minute mark in this second half. Slauson working against Jake Stevens, backing his way down. Slauson, 3, short. Caldwell had the rebound, deflected away, and White comes away with it. And a timeout that's asked for by Dan Earl.
Yeah, his team is in a bit of a slump. And I'm sure there is a play that they have somewhere that is designed to give them the best look possible.
Chattanooga had a 19-point lead in the second half on Saturday to Samford and ended up losing 75-74 on the road. They had a 7-minute stretch there towards the end of that game where they could do nothing offensively. Right now working on a 3-minute stretch. As you get a look at some of the numbers from tonight's game, you see Furman with a 10-point advantage in the points in the paint. Chattanooga winning the rebounding battle. And again, the field goal shooting percentage staying pretty even between these two as it has throughout the night.
19 seconds on that shot clock. Got to believe Dan Earl told his players, let's get the best players to their best spots where they are most productive.
A 3 would tie it for Chattanooga. They've hit 8 out of 24 in this game. Chattanooga leads the nation, averaging 11.9. Might as well say 12 made three-pointers per game. Shot clock situation here. And Jamal Walker just had to put it up.
Well, it's rough. You use a timeout, and that's what you get. You get a desperation 3. Nobody, it looked like on the floor at that point, Chris, of the 5 Chattanooga players were in a scoring position.
Now Bob Ritchie wants a timeout, and Furman wants to talk it over. Paladins coming off an overtime loss against UNCG in their last game, where they went 0 for 5 from the floor in overtime.
Yeah, it was a bitter ending for them and for Chattanooga on the road at Samford. And I know this is the first, of 3 at home for Chattanooga. They were hoping to get here and get healthy, make a statement.
A 5-0 run for Furman.
And it's been a long uphill fight. You mentioned that 5-0 run. Since the clock got to 5 minutes, Chattanooga has not been able to make a basket other than the free throws. Well, this is when you really got to be strong on rebounding, and you got to be willing to take a charge.
Bothwell just takes it on his own and takes it right to the rim. He's got 22 inside a minute left.
We mentioned it earlier, so hard to guard the creators. Chattanooga's got to go hard to the basket here.
Johnson, the 3, short, long rebound out. Johnson to White, back to the corner. A.J. Caldwell, no, and there's Furman with a rebound. Chattanooga's going to have to foul.
Yeah. Chattanooga's missed their last 5 now.
Jake Stevens picks up his second personal foul. Chattanooga now looking at 3 minutes and 52 seconds. They have hit just 1 out of their last 10. And with 36 seconds to go, J.P. Pegues will head to the foul line for the Paladins.
Checking in for the Paladins, number 24, Alex Williams.
Well, we mentioned it earlier when we looked at the Southern Conference standings. A win here by Furman today would make them 5-2 in the conference. That would kind of allow them to keep pace with the top half of the conference. For Chattanooga, a loss today drops them to 4-3 in the Southern Conference, and suddenly there's a little bit of separation between you and those top 3 teams.
Yeah, and for Furman, look, it's not going to be easy on the road at Wofford, a rivalry game, and then they get to entertain Samford.
Pegues is in double figures now. He's got 10. Furman has put 4 in double figures. Foster has 10. Slauson with 17. And Mike Bothwell has put on a performance here on the road. He's got 22.
Yeah, taking a longer look at that Furman schedule, they close out the year with Samford. What a game that could be to end the regular season before everybody throws their luggage under the bus to head up to Asheville.
Now you see what's coming up for Furman. They get Wofford and then Samford, UNCG. They'll revisit Chattanooga again on February the 1st. And see Wofford for the second time a couple of days later.
Well, they lost their first meeting to UNCG 88-80. I know that was just so difficult for them. You know, we always talk about the three-pointers by Chattanooga. We talked about that game with Wofford, the rivalry game. A team that has hit a three-pointer in 651 straight games.
Wow. Chattanooga 8 of 27 from 3. Mocs have hit just 1 of their last 10 shots, period, and 1 of their last 4 from 3. But again, Chattanooga looking at 4 minutes without a bucket. And Furman on a 9-0 run during that stretch.
And we alluded to the fact a couple of times tonight, when you're a three-point shooting team and you can't make those three-pointers, then you got to have the interior play that kind of carries the offensive load. I really don't think that has been there a lot tonight, and part of that's just because, you know, Dalvin White has been a little frustrated on some of those drives, and so is Jamal Walker. I mean, some of the points, some of the numbers are there, but think about the misses as well. A team that is still shooting 41%. And Furman, you know, they haven't exactly done much better at 43%.
White up the floor, 30 seconds left to go in the game. Chattanooga down by 7 points. White from 3, not there. Rebound, loose. Caldwell. A.J. Caldwell now with 7. And UTC trying to hang around. It's now a 5-point game with 22 seconds left. I think Chattanooga's in a situation, as you get a look at the upcoming schedule for the Mocs, but they're in a situation now, Todd, where you've got a foul. You're going to put Furman at the free throw line, and the Paladins have hit 16 out of 21 tonight.
Yeah, I just don't know what else there is, right? You're reminding your team right now about how we trap and then how we foul. Let's try to steal on the inbound. Let's try to trap and get a 5-second violation. And let's foul and send them to the line. Certainly does feel like Furman has an opportunity here to close out the last 22 seconds and get a win. One thing you don't want on the inbounds, you don't want Furman to find a free release player and throw down a dunk at the other end. .22 seconds remaining. Furman will inbound. You know, if you're lucky here, too, on the inbound, if you don't get it on a steal, maybe you can create a charge.
Inbounds is away, and Randy Brady with the foul. That's number 3 on Brady. Comes with 20 seconds remaining.
And here we go, Chris. We alluded to this early and often. Free throws in this game. One team, the team in the lead, is shooting 76%. The team that is trailing is shooting 69%.
Slauson is now 5 of 7 from the free throw line. Give him 18 points. Randy Brady comes out. Brody Robinson in for the Mocs. Both teams will do some substituting. Jamal Walker checking out for Chattanooga. Alex Williams on the floor for Furman. Slauson hits both. He's got 19. One more opportunity for Chattanooga. Robinson will pick up the foul. J.P. Pegues picks up his second personal. And so Brody Robinson will go to the free throw line.
I'm sure Furman has told their club, look, what we don't want them doing is making threes. We have to send Chattanooga to the free throw line. We'll live with that outcome.
Well, Robinson's been perfect on the night. He's 3 of 3. Nine points in 7 minutes of work for the Texas native. Robinson with a miss. There's the rebound underneath. Slauson's just going to hold it and get fouled. 12 seconds left. We go back to the other end of the floor to shoot the free throws.
Well, box out, get your rebounds late in the game.
Demetrius Davis picks up his third personal. 6-point lead for Furman. And Slauson with a chance to put it away.
Yeah, some would say he has already put this one away. He has really been. We all came here. Most everybody bought a ticket to see Bothwell versus Jake Stevens. And they're all going home tonight and saying, how about that Slauson guy? Heard he was good.
He's got 20. Give him 21. Bothwell has 22. Robinson will heave it up off the back of the rim. There's the rebound by Slauson, and that will do it. Furman gets the win. 77-69 your final. As the Paladins improve, they go to 14-6 on the season, 5-2 in Southern Conference play.